Poultry litter is common in Ohio. It's a great source for nutrients for farm fields. Poultry litter is typically stored in large buildings like this until it's suitable for farmland application. Buildings like this typically hold 200 days of storage. All poultry litter can have an analysis. Oftentimes poultry litter is stockpiled as we get into the application season. Here are pictures of poultry litter that are stored prior to the corn being planted. You can see the lines where the corn plants are planted around. Other times poultry litter is basically stockpiled in soybean fields, which is the most common. This is an example of where we have a semi-load of poultry litter, about 20 tons in this semi-load. They're coming in, they're backing up, and they're going to put this in the bean field where it'll be applied once the soybeans have been harvested. In the state of Ohio, all permitted farms, and that's about 95% of poultry farms, have to stockpile poultry litter, and then the piles have to be crowned so that water runs off of them. And then once a week, they are inspected for insect pressure and other issues. Here we have a front end loader that's crowning this pile of poultry litter. When he's done, he'll back out. There'll be another semi arrive and more poultry litter will be deposited. When the poultry litter is in the field, and this is an example where we have a wheat stubble field, it's a great time for the litter to be applied. So we're taking a front end loader, we're loading up a spreader, and we're going to apply poultry litter in this field. The application rate is fairly typical at about 2 tons per acre. In this example, we're actually running at 1.5 tons per acre because that's what the soil test asked for. You can see the poultry litter going out with the spreader, trying to get even application across the width of the spreader. You can get an analysis for poultry litter just like you can get a soil analysis or manure analysis for hog manure or anything else. In this example, we're dealing with a product that is sold by the amount of nutrients in a ton of poultry litter. And I'm looking down through pounds per ton column, and when I go down there I can see that this sample has 58.7 total pounds of nitrogen in a ton of manure. And just to the right of that, we have a first year availability, and it lists that 48.1 pounds of the 58.7 is available the first year. The next line down talks about ammonium nitrogen that's available, and here we have 32.3 pounds, and all of that's available the very first year. And right below that, we have the organic nitrogen portion. So if you add the organic nitrogen and the ammonium nitrogen, that's how we get the total nitrogen that's in this poultry litter sample. Below that, you can see the P2O5, phosphorus at 51.2 pounds in a ton, and that also is considered available the first year, as is the potash in the next row down, the K2O, at 44.7 pounds per ton, and also listed as available the first year. So the point we're trying to make is that when we know that a corn-soybean rotation would remove maybe somewhere between 100 and 120 pounds of P2O5 per acre. If we were applying this at a rate of 2 tons per acre, then we essentially would be putting about 102 pounds of P2O5 in a field. That is about the same amount we would remove with a 2-year corn-soybean rotation. Also, I would point out on the bottom line is the sulfur. Most of our fields call for sulfur on a pretty regular basis. So you have 6.3 pounds of sulfur in a ton of this poultry litter, and 3.4 that's available the first year. So as you look at your soil tests that call for nutrients, sulfur is one of those that you'll see. It's best to apply poultry litter. It's been pretty dry this year, so we have a lot of poultry litter application taking place. This is a common occurrence once the wheat's been harvested and we have wheat stubble. Once they're done, these groups will move on a couple miles down the road and start the process over again.